Tonight at the Quick Speed Shop, I'm back on the Model A hot rod truck. I'm trying to figure out how big I want my rear end. Alright, well first of all, that's what she said. And so I put this chassis together back in the other installments. I've got my original 2x4 rails, and you saw me put the Model A front frame clip on up here in one of these videos. And I kicked my rear frame up with 2x3. I've got my I got my Pinto, brand new Pinto leaf springs here. And currently I'm running I got a B-body Mopar 8 3/4 rear end in here out of like a 68 B-body Mopar. I think it looks a little spindly in between here, especially from the back. So I like to suck the tires in maybe like 2 inches over, so I just had like a 2.5 inch gap between the wheel well and the tire. I think that would do it. So I looked into narrowing this rear end, but Mopar stuff, especially 8 3/4 rear end, especially B-body stuff, is kind of valuable. So I don't really want to narrow this 8 3/4 rear end. It's in nice shape. It's got a 294 gear set. I have a 323 sure grip gear set I was going to run in it, but you know, used with a sure grip in it, this rear end would be, I don't know, $1,000, and I don't really want to shorten it. So put another like $600 or $700 into getting a short end and getting the axles resplined and all that. So my only other option is change rear ends or change wheels. So I've got another rear end I was going to drag over here and measure. It's out of a Dodge Diplomat. It's an 8 1/4 rear end, but it's got a sure grip in that. I know that's got 291 gears or something like that, which originally when I had this truck on the road, I'm running a 283 Chevy with a T4 4-speed transmission, which is just a non-overdrive version of the T5 transmission. And I ran a 273 rear end gear. So I don't think I want to cut off this B-body rear end. I also don't want to cut off the factory spring perches and weld on new perches. So I think my other option is dragging this 8 1/4 rear end I got over here, and we can cut that down. So let me go ahead and dig that out. We'll take a look at that and see what I think about that. Alright, so here's the rear end I'm thinking about running. This is the 8 1/4 Dodge Diplomat rear end. This came out of a police car. I think all police car packages had the limited slip differential. You can tell the police cars also had a straight axle tube the whole way. I think some of the 8 1/4 ends neck down on the outside of the axle housing a little bit. But this one I pulled out of a car at the Junkyard in Pennsylvania. It's got 291 gears. It's got a tag on the differential cover. 291 gears. I cut the drive shaft, so I've got the yoke here. I can use the yoke when I redo. I have my drive shaft remade. I know which U-joint it needs. And just to show you that it's a limited slip, watch the axle here. Oh, hold on. Come this way. You can watch the hub here, the axle shaft here turn. I'm going to turn this drum forwards, and you'll see that axle also turns forwards. And if I hold the drive shaft, I can't just turn one. If this was open, if you held the drive shaft, you could turn one wheel and the other one wouldn't turn. So I know for a fact these are limited slip to begin with, but just verify. If you go to the junkyard and you spin one wheel and the other wheel goes the opposite way, it's an open differential. I'm going to face-to-face measurement and see how we are here. I'm at 60 inches face-to-face, which I'm pretty sure 60 inches is the same width of the rear end that I got in this truck. Now I looked on the internet, and this is an M body, as in Mary, M body rear end. The internet said these are supposed to be 58.5 drum to drum, so that would have been perfect for what I was looking for. I wouldn't have to change my wheel offset, but this one measures out to 60. And all Diplomats are the same as far as I know. Diplomat, 5th Avenue, all that, we're all the same. Rear end width and all that. So Apparently the internet was wrong. Must be the first time for that. But here we are, 60-inch wide rear end. I'm going to have to go with that. Here it comes. Open up. Aha! Nothing like the smell of gear oil in the morning. Or in the night, as this is. So here it is. Here's the limited slip action. And see the spring plate. Try to get the light in here. See the spring plate and all that. Alright, we're zoomed in for the action. Let's pull the center shaft out of this and get the C-clips out so I can pull the axles out. So here's the cross pin down here. There's a wrench. There's a little bolt here. Just got to be loosened up. I'm gonna slide this over here. So you take this bolt out. This is what locks the center pin in. It wasn't this loose. I already busted it free. I'm going to go ahead and take this out. Everything smells like gear oil. Got my little brass drift here. I'm just going to do this light little tap and see what's up. Rotate this back. Or I can't get it out. Man, that guy is, this thing's tight. It's got a little bit of wear on the It's got a little bit of wear on the pin here. Now I can rotate this, I think. And I got a little magnet here on the end of the screwdriver. I can push the axle shaft in. Try to see what I'm trying to do here. And try to push the axle shaft in here and grab the C-clip. There's a C-clip here that restrains the axle. There's one. There's one axle. Yeah, this thing's really tapered. Down here, the splines. So you'll be alright. I don't like how these taper way down like that on the inside. It's fat. It's real fat on the outside, but they're awful tapered on the inside. I think it's got a bad bearing. Curiosity's got the best of me. I've loosened up the carrier bolts. I want to pull this out here, make sure that there's not something wrong with the pinion bearings. Something's noisy. I spun the 8 3/4 around, it's smooth as glass, and this thing's super noisy. So I want to pull this apart and see what's going on here. Because it's super noisy. Sometimes it gets bound up. Maybe it's got a bad bearing. This will let me see all the bearings. It's the right thing to do. Yeah, the pinion's got a bad pinion bearing. That's what's making the noise. It's all chunky monkey. And I wanted just to throw the thing in the car. I love junkyard rear ends. Usually they're good. You just buy them and throw them in. But now I got a problem. I got to think about what I want to do now. Alright, I've changed plans altogether. Here's what's going on. So the 8 1/4 rear end, had the bad pinion bearing. So that's out. Plus I took the gears out and the preload is all screwed up now. And another thing that's wrong with it, it's got a lot of pitting where the axle pad's mounted, because these had a rubber like iso clamp on the springs. So the tubing's kind of pitted and soft, which probably wouldn't be an issue, but I was like, you know what? It's got enough strikes against it. I'm out. I'm out with that. So I pulled the axles out, pulled the brakes off it. I pulled the shirt grip out of it. I'm going to save all that, and I'm probably going to just throw the housing out back for now. And then I had the aha moment. Aha! I've got an 8-inch Ford rear end out back, and I got an extra gear set for it, which I think might have a limited slip in it that I bought from a guy moving to Florida over the summer. I had stashed it out in a weird spot out in the backyard undercover, and I completely forgot about it. And I'm working all this. I'm all frustrated. I'm looking at rear ends online. Like, what does it cost to get like a custom 9-inch rear end built? By the way, it's very expensive. They're $1,200, $1,500 bucks. And I'm like, wait a minute. I've got an 8-inch Ford rear end that's narrower, has an extra gear set, is in nice shape, has everything except for the shoes and the drums, which are cheap. It's going to be narrower. It's the right bolt pattern. I'll just put the 8-inch Ford rear end in it. So that's how I'm going to do now. I got to drag it back up. It's snowing out. I'll drag it in a second. We'll measure it up. I think it's going to be narrower. All right, here it is. Got the 8-inch Ford rear end here. The pinion's stuck. The axle's turned, so the differential's fine, but the pinion's stuck here for some reason. I don't know if I can coax it. It was sitting outside for a while. Man, that's stuck. Well, anyways, that's alright. I've got a good gear set I'm going to put in here, so I'm going to pop the center section out. But first of all, let's go ahead and let's measure up the wheelbase. I think this should be shorter than the other ones because it's a, usually put these in the smaller cars. I mean, it's possible it could be from a Fairlane or something full size. But we'll see. I'm hoping for like 56 to 58 inches. We'll see what we get here. Oop. What? Are you serious? This is 61 inches wide. How can that be? This must be out of a Fairlane or something big. This is the widest one yet. Ah, killing me. Alright, so I got fooled again here. This is not an 8-inch Ford rear end. I was fooled by the two dimples. This is actually a 9-inch Ford rear end. It's out of probably like a 63 or 4 Galaxy. And with the early pattern without the 9-inch bump in the back. But it's definitely a 9-inch carrier. It's full size. It's 61 inches flange to flange. So my magic plan of putting this in as 8-inch is not coming to fruition because it's not an 8-inch, it's a 9-inch. It's too wide. The center section's stuck. And I'm not going to use it either because this would take way too much fabrication. It would take way too much part swapping, narrowing to one side. I'd have to buy a new center section. And I'd have way over $1,000 in it just to get this early rear end to work. So I'm not going to use this either. What I do have is an 8-inch Ford center section, which I got to see if it's limited slip. It looks like it is. And what I determined by sleuthing on the internet, thanks to the Ham and some other sites, is I want a Maverick 8-inch rear end, which are hard to find. But there's a guy in Craigslist out not too far from here that is showing one used, complete, drum to drum out of a Maverick with 279 gears open for $250. So I think today's Christmas Eve, so I'm not going to call today, but I think I'm going to go, and if he's still got it, buy that if it's not junk and it's the right width. I wanted to change my wheels. I have the new center section, which is a nice shape, or I could put a limited slip in the 279, which is a ratio I wouldn't mind running because I like highway gears. Kind of a bummer because I got all these rear ends and none of them work. Ah! Dang it! And I don't like to spend money on stuff. Anytime you get any rear end you're going to get built, it's like way over $1,000. If you get something good and rebuilt, it's over $1,000. I just want to buy a junkyard rear end that's the correct width and put it in here. So in the meantime, I'm at a standstill. I got no rear action. I'm just going to leave it here till I can figure out if I can find a Maverick rear end, and we'll go from there. So as always, thanks for watching. Please subscribe. I'm going to put a circle somewhere. Where am I going to put it? Over here. Bang! Hit it over there. Putting out new videos every Wednesday and Saturday. Alright, hold on. The story's not over. It's like garage CrossFit. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Dang it. This one's narrower. Aha. Bam. I called the guy on Craigslist and I went out, and the ad was like an hour away. And I called the guy. He's like, yeah, I got that rear end, but it's actually in another town. I'm like, where's that? He's like, my town. Or he said it's my town. So this is literally like 5 minutes from my house, and I turned out I knew the guy who is at his house. So I went over there and grabbed it. What I got is a Maverick Grabber 8-inch Ford rear end. This is the correct rear end for what I want to do. I already measured it. It's 56.5-ish inches from face to face, which would be perfect for the stagger that I want on the wheels. Came out of a car with like 92,000 miles on it, a V8 Mercury Grabber, so it's got the 5-lug axles. I'm not sure how big these drums are, probably 9 by 2s or 10 by 2s maybe. They don't look very big. No, they're 10. They're 10 by, I guess 10 by 2 or 10 by 1 3/4. So that's nice. I'm going to run disc brakes on the front. I'm going to run big 11-inch rotors on the front. So this thing ought to stop like gangbusters. But I'm really excited. $250 out the door for the complete rear end. Way cheaper than any of the other options I had, and it's the correct width, and I don't have to do anything. Just slam some new brakes on it, and right now it's got an open carrier, but that other 8-inch carrier I got over here is a 355 gear set, and I'm pretty sure it's limited slip. So if I don't want to run this open differential, I can slap that in. I don't know if I want to run 355 gears. It's a little steep for what I like to do, but it might be alright. I can always try it, and I can always, swap this one back in if I want to. I looked online. I can get a limited slip or locker for an 8-inch Ford for about $300. Slap that in here, and I could run the 290 gears if I wanted to run 290 gears. So I've got options. I got really excited. Correct width rear end, correct bolt pattern, 2 sets of gear choices. The thing's in nice shape, and it saved me a boatload of money. So I'm excited. So now that's the end of the video. So now go ahead and subscribe over here. Bang, there's a circle. Hit that. I'm putting out new videos every Wednesday and Saturday. And in the next installment of the Model A Hot Rod Truck, I'll be slapping this in here, and we'll start getting the brackets mocked up and set the thing back down and see how it looks. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you again at the Quick Speed Shop.